What's cracking, people? I'm Makign, this is Slimehouse TV, and in today's episode I'm going to give you another update on how we've been getting on with the studio that we've been building for the past few months, because we've done quite a bit since I last caught up with you. I'm also going to let you know how we got on in York when myself and Retro Ghetto recently hooked up for a collab video. And then I've also got a brand new action figure that I've been working on that I want to show you as well. So lots to get through in today's episode. Let's do this! So as you can probably see, quite a lot going on in the studio today. We've got new racking, we've got storage boxes, we've got things all over the place. Basically, my dad works in like scrap recycling and house clearances and that kind of thing, and he comes across lots of stuff like this, and I always say, if you see anything that you think we might be able to use in the studio, then please pick it up. So he's got me this old racking that's a little bit tired, but it'll be fine for what I need. It's only gonna go in the storage area and have boxes on it. So I'm gonna give it a little clean up, I'm gonna bash it all back together, level everything back where it needs to be, clean the rust off and that kind of thing, and just give them a little bit of a glow up and a little bit of a spruce up, and then get them where they need to be. So we're gonna do that first, and then I've got loads of other stuff to show you. So basically, this one here is like being adjusted too high. This one's fine, I want them at like this level. So this one I need to work out how you take these out. They're like adjustable, but they're a bit stiff and rusty, so I don't want to just slot it and slice my hand open. So how do you get them to hold in place? How do you get them to hold? That's level with that. That needs to be like that. So you can raise that one up. And as you can see, it's very dusty and dirty. It's got cobwebs on it and things, but that don't matter. We'll give it a nice clean up, a nice wipe down. That's not it. That's never right. I'm glad I put these gloves on. It would have been horrible doing this with bare hands. There we go. So they're not perfect, they're a little bit warped, they're a little bit dinted and stuff. They probably got bashed about a lot wherever they used to be, but they'll be fine for what we need them for, so I'm gonna get them all cleaned up and then we'll put them to use. This is a cool little steel set of drawers that my dad found as well. And yeah, perfect colour for in here, but it's a bit unlevel. It's got these wheels on the bottom that are all like chewed up and bashed, so I figured I'll get them screwed off and then I'll get that in the storage area as well. Because it doesn't actually need these wheels on the bottom. This is not something that's going to be getting moved around a lot. Helmer, this is from IKEA. That makes sense. Looks like something you'd find in IKEA. Perfect. So these little drawers will be where I put tools and pens and that kind of thing, but I didn't want a lot of drawers in this building. To quote MS Paints, because he put out a video like, I don't know, a year ago or something where he was building his new studio, he said he didn't want drawers. He said drawers are where things go to die. And I fully related when he said that, because I've got drawers that are just full of garbage. When you've got a drawer, you throw stuff in it, it gets lost. I don't want no drawers. I want things on the wall in like racking and holders and that kind of thing. And then if I've got any drawers, they're just for like putting the odd tools in or pens and stuff. I don't want drawers in this building. I hate drawers. So my original plan in this room was to have like a metre square podium table in the middle of the room. My friend Jace is or may be building it for me. He will build it for me. It's just if I decide if I need it that big or not. But I want like a central podium kind of table to work on. I always like it when you've got like a table in the middle of the room that people can work around. But I don't really want to get it yet until everything's in the room and then I know how much space I've got to work with, because I don't want it too crowded in here. So for the minute, I'm just using my flexi spot table. I'm going to use this table for the stuff in the middle of the room, but it's hard to move. It's super heavy. It's also got like rubber feet, which makes it hard to drag across the floor without scratching it and stuff. So I've bought some little caster wheels. Now they do look a little bit small. It was hard to get them with an M8 thread, which is the same thread size as that, hopefully. I don't want so much weight to be on that table that it like indents the vinyl underneath. It shouldn't do, but you never know. So I'm gonna try it anyway, and even if it's just a temporary solution, it should be okay for now. Because I wanna be able to move this table around and use it, and currently, like moving it across the floor, I'm always scared that I'm gonna tear the vinyl or something, and we definitely don't want that. You see what I mean? You have to drag it across the floor. It makes me paranoid. Oh, heavy thing, man. Hate moving it. So if my calculations are correct, which they probably aren't, this should go in there. There's just not much give. Check this. You see, if you look, there's not much give. So I've tightened that as tight as it'll go, and there's nowhere else for that bolt to go to. So the only thing you could do is risk it and see if it's okay like that. I mean, that bolt isn't going to snap anytime soon, I would like to think, but it might need like a big rubber washer in there. Do you know, like a skateboard wheel, like that kind of thickness? We'll have to keep an eye on it. There we go. Okay. Well, that moves around a lot easier. And it's also got at the front the old locking wheels. Oh aye. That seems to work. It'll do for me. So if you watched my previous upload, my last video, you'll know that myself, Callum from Retro Ghetto and a few others all went to Leeds video game market. We had a fantastic time, we found some fire new additions to our collections and made some great memories. I also said in that video that we'd spent the day before in York, and that was mainly because we wanted to check out an awesome retro game and toy shop there called Sore Thumbs. Now I had been to Sore Thumbs quite a few times before, but I'd not paid him a visit for a couple of years. Callum had also not been in a while, and our friends Kev and Dan had never been before at all, so we were all very keen to get there and see what they had in stock this time. If you're a regular viewer of the channel, you'll probably already know that I'm not a massive retro game collector. I do have a modest little collection, and I do pick up the odd ones here and there that speak to me, or ones that I've got some kind of attachment to, but nothing on the scale of people like Kev and Callum who have got whole rooms dedicated to their collections. I do always love checking out retro games though. I love the artwork on the covers, I love seeing the old tech, obscure releases, foreign variants and stuff, and this shop is stacked with all of that. Sore Thumbs has also got an incredible collection of Resident Evil games and Biohazard merchandise, which if you know me, you'll know that it's something that I've always got a lot of time for, so that was awesome to see. Resident Evil umbrella, red herbs bath powder. That's kind of thing that have come on with me. Check that out if you miss it, mate. This is a nice little Resident Evil cabinet, mate, here. As I mentioned as well, Sore Thumbs doesn't just sell games, they've also got a lot of vintage toy stock as well, including lots of Japanese stuff, and although they've got lots of cool anime and tokusatsu bits scattered around, it's their Kaiju cabinets that I was obviously most interested in checking out. Jaguar. Testaroya. Let me see that one again. They got it, the fire alien storm. Yeah. There's these dope like snails in that have got like an oil drum on the back as a shell. I always loved that design. Like I want to make a Toyo one day. I went everywhere finding that as a kid. It's Billy Kidman from Filthy Animals, WCW. Yeah. But that particular one, he was my favourite, and someone said that like, oh, you can get a figure of him, and not like back before you even knew if that were true or not. You know, if it was the one gassing. And I found it in Beatties, and oh, that was a good Christmas, man. Unfortunately, there were no kaiju that I needed for my collection on this day, but if you are in the market for some Japanese vinyl or retro games or vintage toys, then Sore Thumbs is definitely a shop that I'd recommend checking out if you're ever in York. The staff are awesome, it's always stacked with new stuff, there's such a wide variety of different bits for sale in there, especially if you're into your Japanese culture like I am, and if you spend enough, you'll even be blessed with the honour of getting to hold the famous Sore Thumbs Big Hitters belt like Kev did.
Not join the elite, the big hitters.
Or like Callum did for him, should I say, because Kev was too shy to hold it. But as you can imagine, we had an awesome time in Sore Thumbs, and I'm really looking forward to going to check out that place again, because like I said, you never know what you're going to find there. So after that, it was off for a quick trek around York. Obviously, Callum and the boys wanted to check out the local keg store, because as you might know, you can't go anywhere with Callum or Kev without checking out a keg shop. There was also a couple of places that I wanted to check out, including one called Travelling Man, that I always like to go to, that sells Warhammer and Gunpla kits. We also wanted to get some food as well, because we'd not eaten for hours. Now, Sore Thumbs aside, York is genuinely just a very good place for a day out, and I'm always on it if there's an excuse to go there. It's a place with a lot of history if you're into anything Roman, Saxon or Viking related. The entire city's been fortified like a castle, it's got a crazy huge cathedral in the middle of it. All the streets look very medieval, like something from a Dungeons and Dragons quest, and I always feel this is how Americans might picture England when they think about it. So if you are ever looking to visit the UK, then this is definitely somewhere that I would always recommend going to check out. So the next stop on our trip was Leeds. Now obviously we was all going to Leeds Retro Game Market the next day, but there was one place that we wanted to check out in the evening in Leeds that felt like the perfect place for us lot to go to on a night out, and we was all very excited about it. What is good, people? Not in the usual location, as you can see. Right now we're in Leeds. We're staying at the Leeds Colton Hotel. All day myself and Retro Ghetto and the Ghetto Gang, Kev and Dan, we've been out hunting at Sore Thumbs in York. And tomorrow we're going to the Leeds Retro Game Market. And then tonight, right now, in like an hour or something, we're going to this big arcade in Leeds. This big vintage arcade full of old arcade machines and that kind of thing. So I'm going to go downstairs and meet Callum in a minute at his hotel room. Let's see how we get on. He's ringing me now. He's ringing me now. Angry bloke up there. Ah! Don't ever bring my dinner cold. Now I know what you do. There's a right build up, isn't there? It's the build up what gets you pumped up for it. Love to see it. Game over. We're not even started yet. Oh, I sucked a ghost up. It's like we've got a big Hoover basically. I'm not right into this, me. Not feeling this one. I want to shoot and kill things. I don't want to be messing about. Not feeling this one. Whatever this is, we're not feeling it. Let's see how ghetto he really is. Where's the thing? Go! Hey! Ghetto by name, ghetto by nature. Oh! You do it! Did you see that? Hey! Did you see that? Camera saw that. What? What? Look at this. flying through the danger zone. Gonna stick a ride into the danger zone. Woo!
So as you can probably see for yourself, there was a crazy variety of games and arcade machines at this place, old stuff, new stuff, and when we first got there, I can't lie, it was a little bit overwhelming. So we had some food, yammed some pizza, got our energy levels back up, and then made our way to the floor where we were probably going to be spending most of our time that evening, the vintage section.
Some mint machines here. WF, Splatterhouse, Karate Champ, Contra, Robocop, Ghouls and Ghosts, Golden Axe, Aliens, just banger after banger after banger. Mike Tyson's Punch Out, Batman. Yeah, this is where it's at. This is our kind of area. A bit more chilled, old school, old school. This is the classic, probably my favourite game here. Alien vs Predator. The weapons in it are so cool as well. You get the pulse rifle, you get the Predator disc, the smart gun. Yeah, man, I want that. I got so far on Alien vs Predator and then died on the last level, wounded. There's many things I think of when I think of a Die Hard game, and this is not it, but it's incredible. Die Hard arcade, Sega Saturn, I believe. Very, very Japanese. You're more like Van Damme than John McClane. But I love it.
Now, as you probably know if you watched that video, the next morning we did have to get up early for the Leeds video game market. But we did still stay here till like closing time, and even though we did so much cool stuff that weekend, we all agreed that hitting up the Leeds arcade was definitely one of the highlights, and another place that I would 100% recommend checking out if you've ever got the opportunity to do so.
Woo! Yes, mother. What? Cheetah! Cheetah! So it's been a couple of days now since we got back from the Leeds game market in York. How awesome was that? We had such a good time. And if you watch the Leeds Retro game market video, you'll have seen the stuff that we got up to there. And as you can see now, back in Sheffield, and it's only snowing. Check that, proper unexpected. Just woke up this morning and the whole of the estate was covered in a mad thick blanket of snow. I've got loads to do today, so I've put the heating on in the studio ready for when I'm in there, because I'm going to be starting the BillMakingStuff collaboration, which is not going to be in this video, but it will be in a separate upload. But you're going to see me getting kind of ready for that collaboration in this video, because I've got loads of stacker boxes in my room that all need to be brought down here. At the minute, everything that I do, like the making stuff, the toy making stuff, the toy collecting stuff, the YouTube stuff, all happens in one room, and it's kind of crowded in there. So yeah, really excited to get a lot of that stuff in the studio and just have this place as like a maker space, just a place where we do toy making and we do model building and all that kind of thing, all in one area. So what I've got to do today is get a load of them boxes from there in here and get them a little bit organized, because I'm starting that collaboration tonight. I'm going to start building that tonight for that video. So yeah, I want to have everything in there ready, because I've been collecting greeblies and bits and bats and broken toys and all sorts of stuff for such a long time, all getting ready for this big collaboration that we're doing. And yeah, really excited to start it.
So as you can see, as soon as I arrived back from that weekend, I started working on my BillMakingStuff Big Bot Bash collaboration project that I've been talking about for the past few weeks. And although I can't show you any of that in this episode, because I've got to save that for the next video, I can show you a brand new toy that I've been working on for our friend Kev. So if you don't already know, Kev is the owner of the Signage and Display Co factory that we visited a few months back. He's a guy that's been on many game and toy hunts with us, he's a big collector, and he also makes awesome display boxes. Like these, for example, that he made for me recently. You remember in that studio update episode that I dropped a few weeks back where I painted those old hammer skeletons and I said Kev were going to make me a cool display box for him? Well, that's exactly what he did, and I think we can all agree that these came out very awesome. He also made me a separate box too, just for the single boxes on their own, and these also came out wicked, and I'm definitely going to have to tap him for some more now, because I've got quite a few of these boxes and they could all do with being protected. So basically everything that him and the factory do is so good, it's such stellar quality. He's been helping me out so much recently, and there's loads more stuff that he's offered to help me with in the future in the studio. So I wanted to be able to pass him something back to say thank you that was unique and something that only I could create for him. So when I first met Kev, he asked me if I could get him a cool figure of the Marvel Comics symbiote alien Carnage. He's got this old rare Maximum Carnage video game that he plans on putting in a custom display case like the ones I just showed you, and he wanted a figure to put inside it, so that he could have the game with a toy displayed next to it, all in a display box looking cool, and I said that I would do him one better, and rather than find him a figure that already exists, I would create him his own bespoke figure in my style, so that's what I did for him. Now, I've always really liked the character of Carnage, so for me it was a really cool opportunity to be able to create my own toy of him. He's basically just a big screaming skull blood demon made up of tentacles and tendrils. He can form his hands into blades and axes, so as soon as we spoke about it, I instantly started thinking what I could do with it if I created my own version of him. I was also on a pretty tight deadline to get this thing all finished for him because I wanted to get it done for the time that we went on that weekend road trip, and it was one of them. We spoke about doing it for ages, and then all of a sudden it was like, oh damn, it needs to be done like this weekend. So I literally got this guy carved out in just a couple of evenings. The fun thing as well about creating a character like this is that you don't have to worry too much about making everything perfect. You obviously have to follow basic anatomy, but you're creating a character that doesn't have a human face. His body can be elongated and deformed, and you can just get kind of crazy with it and not have to worry about everything looking too anatomically accurate. And on top of all that, I was taking a lot of artistic liberty with its design as well, so it was cool just to be able to let loose on it. So once I'd got it to a point where I was happy with its design, it was off to the Elegoo to get it printed. So this was one of them designs that just slapped. I printed it off in a few different sizes with slightly different proportions, and they all just seemed to work. So for the articulation, I decided to use magnets on this figure. Sometimes I do push fit pegs, but I'm starting to think magnets work a little bit better. There's no chance of them breaking off like pegs can. So once I'd got that sorted, I took him outside, got him all sprayed and primed, and got him ready for his paint job. Now, like I said, I was on a pretty tight deadline to get this guy finished, and luckily for me, Carnage is pretty much all red. At least this version is that I'm doing anyway. So thankfully, painting this guy was a pretty quick and easy process. I also found out recently about an awesome Citadel contrast paint called Ball Red, which literally, as soon as I started adding it to the figure, I knew it was going to be the perfect colour for this Carnage. What I also really like about this contrast paint as well in particular is that you don't have to thin it or anything like that. You just bang it on the toy straight from the pot, and after a couple of layers it really did start to look the part. Contrast paints as well kind of do a lot of the work for you. They seep into all the little crevices, they leave it slightly lighter on the raised areas, and it just kind of makes it look like you spent a bit longer on the figure than you actually did. As for the head, that was pretty much the only part of the figure that I had to take my time on. I wanted to make sure that I kept the eyes nice and white and paint the black border around him really neat and sharp. I then used that same ball red for the rest of his head, giving it a couple of coats so that everything looked nice and unified, and to finish him off, I used a cool pink for his tongue and then the slightest bit of darker contrast paint in some of the deeper areas, just because. So once everything had dried, I gave him a nice coat of satin lacquer and he was all ready to go off to his new home.
I've got to glue it myself.
No, it's magneted.
Got the Kev.
We're just doing a reveal of Carnage.
Yeah, that's mint.
Is that alright for you?
Yeah. So, has it got
What's the backstory on this?
your tag on it?
No, but I can sign it. But
Yeah, I want it signed.
he's having a Maximum Carnage, isn't he? SNES game.
So I've got my
in a protected
SNES.
box.
SNES. Mega Drive.
On Mega
I
Drive.
don't collect SNES.
All right.
Of course, can't afford it.
Mega Drive. It'll be in a protective case like this, won't it?
Yeah. It'll be in one of them.
But I didn't want it too big because I didn't want it to overshadow the game. So I thought
Nice.
if it's like that kind of size, it's like Playmates, and it'll just sit next to it nice. And then you can glue it to the bottom however you want. You know, like whatever you want. Get one of them. Look at that.
Man.
You ever had one of them, Callum?
These kids have never had one of them.
Yeah,
No, that's mint. Love it.
So there you have it, Kev's finished bespoke Carnage, a figure that I had no plans to ever create for myself, but now that I've made him, I think he came out pretty awesome. Like I said, I also did print a couple of these in different sizes. The one that I gave Kev had more realistic proportions, a bit more in keeping with the classic Carnage that they use for the game, but the one that I did for myself had a slightly bigger head and hands, and he fits more in with the Playmate style action figures that I collect. And that's the really fun thing about sculpting digital and doing stuff for yourself. You can always go back and make those adjustments and try different things, and just another reason why I love creating toys this way. So that's pretty much going to wrap up today's episode. I'm currently working away on my big Bot Bash scratch build for this collaboration that I'm doing with Bill and everyone else, so that'll be the video that drops next. It won't be on Tuesday, it will be a few days after. I think it's the 29th because me and everyone else that's involved with it are all dropping it on the same day. So if you make sure you've got your notification bell on, then you won't miss the premiere of the drop. It's going to be awesome, and I can't wait to see what everyone else creates because there's some really good people involved. MS Paints, Miscast, Whittle Goblin, I Made This. There's so many people involved with it, and I'm just honestly so excited to see what everyone else creates. In terms of today's episode, I just had a bunch of unedited footage that I'd filmed over the past few weeks that I had to do something with, so I hope you didn't think it felt too random, and if this is your first time at the channel, I'm Makign, this is Slimehouse TV. I do videos every single week that are all pretty different. There's always a bit of variation on this channel, but if you love retro stuff and you love toy collecting or toy making, then this is the place for you. You're very welcome here at Slimehouse. I've also got lots more unedited footage of stuff that we've done since this update, but I'll save that for another video because I don't want to cram it all into this one. If this is your first time checking out the channel, then I'd love to know where you're from and what you collect or how you found us. If you enjoyed this video today, please don't forget to give it a like and let me know what you think of my version of Carnage. What do you reckon to him? I'd also love to know if you went to that arcade, what game would you be playing? Personally, I was all over the Aliens vs Predator, but everyone's got their own gaming preference, and I'd love to know what you would have picked if you went there, because like I said, it was pretty overwhelming. There was so much choice. If you want to help support projects like this, then the best place to do that is over on my Patreon at patreon.com/SlimehouseTV. If you don't want to sign up to anything but you still want to support the channel, then there's also a PayPal link down in the description where you can do that. Every little helps, even if it's just a couple of quid to buy me an energy drink. It all goes towards making Slimehouse bigger and better than ever. I'm also off on a little international trip at the end of this month, working on a very special top secret dream project, so there's never a better time to support the channel. If you join the Patreon as well, you get exclusive access to the Slimehouse only thread on Discord, and I'm going to be putting up all the updates of what I'm up to when I'm out on my trip, so that's the best place to go to if you want to keep up to date with everything that I've got going on this top secret project. So with all that being said, I really hope you enjoyed this video today. Don't forget to give it a like, and if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel and binge the back catalogue. I'm Makign, this is Slimehouse TV, and until the next video, I'm gone. Pow!